Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much, Lloyd, for inviting me to have this session with you guys. It's essentially a session sharing my own personal inquiry into my Orang Laut ancestry lah. But I really started doing it as a form of finding out who my ancestors were. So I just get into it. I've left some readings in the folder that you guys can just pick up, including my thesis if you want to find out a bit more in greater detail what I'm going to talk about today. Uh, so yeah, really, it's my own personal interest, and I was looking how the Orang Laut been in Singapore or in the region for the previous centuries up till the coming of the British, and then what happened to them. How did this come about? Really, it came from my own childhood stories, especially my paternal grandmother. My paternal grandmother used to share a lot of stories about the Orang Laut. And then the other big impetus was when I took history in school, and a lot of the narratives kind of clashed with what I heard as a child or growing up about the Orang Laut. Of course, as I traveled the region, there were a lot more questions as I traveled the immediate region of Southeast Asia. So it's a picture of my family, or rather my dad, who's from the Orang Laut side of my family. These are his brothers. He has a total of six brothers. So with him is my grandma had seven boys. So they always identified themselves as Orang Laut or Orang Laut Bintan to be more specific. My family played a very big part. History in school. So because of our schooling, right, there's a lot of, or at least mine, there was a lot of emphasis on Raffles and his role, and the role of the colonials vis-a-vis the natives, and the colonials were always put in good light or better light, and there was this idea of enlightening or civilizing the natives. That came quite strongly when I was doing history sometime back in secondary school. Okay, lastly, the interest really came about through my travels. And then I realized that a lot of the stories that my grandmother had shared were shared by people. Okay, I like to go to beach holidays all around the region. So I meet up with a lot of boatmen, and I like to eat seafood. So I kind of hang out by the sea. So these pictures of my family. This guy, very interestingly, I met him in Phuket, but he was speaking Malay, a bit of Malay, or enough Malay to speak with me. And he claims to be of Orang Laut descent as well. So as I was traveling the region, really a lot of people I meet who claim Orang Laut ancestry and sharing the same oral accounts, same stories that my grandmother used to tell me about. Right, so my family now really enjoys, well, not now thanks to the pandemic, but hopefully when the time permits we'll do it again.